Hi, Noise Fellows. Mr. Doria here. So, in this video, we'll be talking about classroom management. So, classroom management is a big topic we'll learn in our early days of teaching and in our student teaching and also in our coursework. But when you think of classroom management, the first thing I always say is I want to make my students know that there's a routine in my classroom and that there's consistency. So, every day when the students enter your class, they should know what to expect. So, for example, I'll start my class off every day with a do now. So, when the students come into class, they know they need to sit down, get themselves settled, and begin working on their do now activity. After the do now, we'll typically go over it, or maybe we'll do a quick think, pair, share where the students could grade each other's do nows, or maybe I'll even collect the do now just to see the students' progress. Then I move into some sort of guided practice or content for the day. Very brief, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes of content. And then how I do independent practice is I want my students to explore the concept and I facilitate the learning. So you want student centered classrooms. You shouldn't be doing a 40-minute lecture, right? We need to get the kids involved. We need to get the students doing things in the class so they come to you excited and ready to learn every single day. And after the independent practice, so, based on whatever you're doing in your classroom, we'll do a quick share out. Maybe during that time, you assess the students. You can give them some sort of formal assessment, quick exit ticket, or maybe some sort of activity where the students are assessing each other. But again, you want all of your lessons to be student centered. You should not be lecturing the entire time for 40 minutes. I always say 40 minutes of guided notes. That could be a recipe for poor classroom management. So you want your students engaged, you want them coming to class excited, and that'll help. That you'll see that will help you manage your classrooms that much better. Also, you want to make your class fun, right? So even though there's that routine going on, maybe one day switch it up. When your kids enter class, you could have that new seat change every quarter, or maybe you have some really cool activity. So, for example, I'm a science teacher. I'll if I'm doing a frog dissection, I'll have everything set up. And my students come in, they just see that formerly living organism ready to be dissected, and you see it creates a sense of excitement, and the kids will, they'll be excited to come to your class. And another big part of classroom management is find a way to create a culture in your class, make a connection with the kids. You want them coming to you feeling excited and that they know that you care about them. So, find ways to team build. One way that I've been team building with my kids, since a lot of them are remote and hybrid, I play the game Among Us with them. Every Friday for about 20 minutes, we create a class code and we go into the Among Us spaceship world and we interact with each other. I actually tell the kids to go meet in this Among Us spaceships cafeteria, and we take a group picture at the end of the class. You want to lay out the rules and check with your admin before you do anything like that, because it is technically social media and you're in the internet. But those team building activities, it makes the kids want to be in your class and they're excited. You'll see kids saying, you'll see kids saying, "Oh wow, this Friday we're playing Among Us in Mr. Doria's class," or you'll hear kids saying, "Oh, let me do all my work so we could have that fun club day." So just keep finding ways to connect with your kids. A big thing I also do is I'll directly do an activity with the students. So again, I'm all about student centered learning in any kind of station activity, or if I give my students some sort of independent practice, I'll actually go and do the activity with the kids. I'll sit at their desk and I'll go through the activity with them. And as I'm circulating the room, I'll make sure that I'm with my students for maybe each group for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long the lab period is or how long the class period is. So they get to know me. You'll see if you're in the trenches with the kids, actually doing the activities with them, you'll learn about them. Maybe they'll see that you have an interest in what they're doing outside their lives. You might have a conversation. And I love video games. So I happen to mention Nintendo to one of my students, and we have a connection now. He asks me what games I'm playing. So find ways to connect with the students based on whatever you need to do to be creative. And you'll see it with that combination of having consistency every day, switching it up to having that fun activity, and then finding ways to create that classroom culture where you're actually learning with the students. it'll help make your classroom management practices that much more better. But I will say, the 40-minute guided notes where you're just lecturing, you might see some of those issues where kids might not be interested. They might start, acting up in terms of negative behaviors. So, again, student-centered learning and making those connections with the kids, along with that consistency of the students knowing what to expect from you every day. In my opinion, that's how you manage your classroom. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And as always, have a great day and inspire those kids to do well and start figuring out ways and being creative to connect with your kids.